Welcome.
Being around inspiring people just makes you want to just do better and better yourself as well.
All right, we're back here in the studio with the Indie LA podcast, and we have with us our special guest, Ariel Shrum, trumpet player, magician, songwriter. Ariel, what don't you do, man? I mean, thank you for being on the podcast with us.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah,
welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I kind of just want to jump right into it, man. You and I met at a venue performing for sort of like a live like club scene, right? And I know you as a trumpet player. And one of the times I had gotten to the gig a little bit earlier, and I saw you also performing magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, like this dude is incredible. Like how can he have like both of these like trades? I kind of want to know, like what got you into magic? Like what started that journey for you?
So many things influenced that path. I think the earliest thing was my grandfather, actually.
Okay.
And he wasn't a magician himself, but he was definitely like a magic enthusiast. And he knew some tricks here and there. And he had this one little cork trick. It was like a bar bet that you would do. You know, you're in a bar and you say, hey, if you can do this little puzzle thing, I'll buy you a drink. And if you can't do it, you buy me a drink. Like one of those little things. I don't know why he's teaching his like 7-year-old son to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, grandson.
Is the puzzle solvable?
It is. It's very clever. It looks like you have two corks kind of in your palms, like in between your thumbs, and you kind of put them together, and then you pass them through each other. Essentially, it kind of looks like they go through.
Okay.
You kind of like pull them apart in a weird way, and then someone else tries to do it, and they can't do it. It's like this like impossible puzzle. So that fascinated me, just that you could learn a trick. I think that was the first time I was exposed to a trick.
Yeah.
And I was kind of bit by the bug by that. And then I got out of it for a while. I wasn't like in magic. I just thought it was kind of cool. I had this fun little trick.
Okay.
And then I was given a magic kit, I think a couple years later. And I thought that was cool for a couple years.
Nice.
Then I thought it was really dumb and lame.
Oh.
And I remember actually going to like a friend's bar mitzvah where they had a magician hired and thinking that it was really silly. And I distanced myself from him. And I wish actually that I went and saw more of the tricks because now, I mean, that's awesome. But I remember thinking that it was really weird and dumb. And there's another instance in my life where I was around a magician. And again, I thought it was really dumb. And then on New Year's Eve in 8th grade, that was when the magic truly began, that I haven't strayed from that path.
Okay.
And I was at a New Year's Eve party, and a friend of mine, my friend of mine's cousin, was doing a card trick, and it again sort of relit that passion that I sort of had. It wasn't like a full passion that was developed, but I knew that it was fun to do card tricks. It was fun to fool people, and it was fun to like feel magical, I guess.
Yeah.
So it kind of like re-influenced that feeling that I was developing, I guess, throughout all the years, on and off the path. So I went home that night and pulled out like my old card trick book and just started teaching myself tricks. And
Okay.
And from then on, I taught myself how to do magic essentially, and I've been doing it for 16 years actually.
Wow, dude, that's incredible. So yeah, you would say like at your start, you were introduced to it, but it didn't really like catch like the first like few times, right? Like
Yeah, I think there was more distractions in my life, music too, and I think at a certain point music was getting too hard, like trumpet was getting challenging, and so magic was like this new fun thing that I could practice, and I always loved to practice things, so it was fun to kind of go back and forth between trumpet or music and then magic, and they feed each other too really nicely, just creatively as well.
So you never felt like you needed to choose one over the other, like at that time?
No, and I still haven't. I still think, I mean, if I had to pick one, I would pick music because I've been doing that since I feel like day one, honestly.
Okay.
But magic is right up there with it, and another one of my greatest passions for sure.
That's awesome, dude.
I want to ask because I was also pretty into magic as a kid.
Oh, nice.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but there was some kind of magic special on TV one time with these big illusions, and I just got really hooked by it. And I remember I used to buy those kits
Right.
The stick the sword through the balloon kind of thing.
Yeah.
The cups, the 3 cups, find the ball.
Totally.
Those little starter tricks that you have. And it's funny that you mentioned like when you were younger having that magician at a birthday party. Mm-hmm. How you felt like it was kind of lame at the time.
Right.
It came around. I got so confident in my little tricks and stuff when I was in, I think, the 3rd grade, 9 years old, maybe 2nd grade.
Yeah.
That I took it upon myself to perform at my own birthday party.
That's great.
So I actually performed for my friends.
Wow.
And I think they probably also thought it was really, really lame.
Oh man,
That's incredible.
But it also kind of put me off it for a while. But I love going to magic shows. I love seeing magic tricks and trying to figure out how things work and how things.
Yeah. No, it's funny how like certain age groups within a certain age, it feels like magic is lame. Like it's cool when you're like 6 through 9 maybe, and then after that you're in the age of I want to figure everything out. Like I need to know how this works.
Yeah.
And I think that might be probably where people think it's lame. It's like, oh, you're just doing this stupid little thing.
Yeah, like those preteen years. You're like, oh, is this the right choice?
Like this isn't real magic.
People are gonna make fun of me. Yeah.
And then it becomes cool.
Well, tell me about trumpet. Like, how'd you, why was that the instrument of choice for you? And like, tell me about your journey for, your music career from then to now.
So for trumpet, so I'm a Jew. I come from a Jewish background. And the reason I bring that up is because there is the shofar, which is blown, which is a ram's horn, and you blow it for the Jewish New Year. And that was actually the first horn that I played. It's not really something you play. It's just like a ceremonial thing.
Okay.
They're pretty hard to blow into.
They are pretty hard to, yeah. There's a funny story. My mom was telling me that, I don't remember this, but apparently we were at a synagogue and she heard someone playing the shofar and she walked into the room and it was me. I picked one up and I was just doing it. So I guess I was kind of just drawn to the horn.
Yeah.
And wanted to do that. So I think that kind of also bit me by the bug. Is that the expression?
Yep.
Maybe?
Bug bit me. Yeah.
I got bit by the shofar.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was my first experience with that. But also I just loved the way it looked. And I had a music book as a kid and, with all the instruments. And I was obsessed with how trumpets looked. They're just golden and shiny.
Yeah.
And then just falling in love with the way it sounds. And yeah, so I started playing trumpet when I was 9 years old.
That's
We had to wait till my teeth were formed, I guess, fully. Like, I guess I had to lose all my baby teeth, of course. And I wanted to start earlier, but we had to wait. There was something about like the way my mouth was developing.
Interesting. That's kind of how it is with saxophone. I mean, I can remember like choosing that instrument because of how, shiny and all the keys, like it just looked elegant and cool,
Yeah. And,
when you're a little kid, they want you to start out on clarinet just because of the weight of it. The saxophone's like very heavy. It's it's a brass instrument with like the woodwind, the reed mouthpiece. So I can remember choosing in 6th grade, but like my mom like fought for me to start on saxophone. She like we already had one. My aunt had one. So yeah, I don't know. It was but it was something about like how it looked and how it sounded that like drew me towards it. And I'm kind of glad I stuck with it because it's opened up so many other like avenues.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I started with sax too when I was young, like 9 years old.
Oh, nice.
And even just the alto, you talking about the weight, where the thumb hold would be, that I would have to like set that on the chair.
It's heavy.
And like it's
heavy for little kids.
That was my how it lined up with me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I kind of want to know how trumpet has opened up avenues for you because like I know you now as a songwriter. You're a recording artist. You're going on tour, performing with artists. You're tackling like all of these like musical avenues that, a lot of people just choose like the one or like two paths. But tell me about your story on how that's like created some new direction for you, like choosing that instrument.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's made my whole career essentially. I started playing in bands in high school and college, and I went to Berklee College of Music, so had a lot of opportunity to play in many different ensembles, and also I'm playing trumpet in nightclubs too, which is how we met actually. But but before we even met, I was doing that in Boston, and I was a magician in the nightclub as well as a trumpet player.
Okay, wow,
that's not something you hear very often.
Yeah,
and, yeah. So that was interesting. Definitely, there's a time and a place for that. And it wasn't like being on a stage and you're doing a show. It was just kind of like walking through the club, kind of like what we did, kind of acting as if I was like a bottle service
Yep.
person. But yeah, no, it's opened up so many opportunities, and I've gotten to work with so many different artists, and I think I've recorded on maybe like 85 songs that have come out of all different artists so far, I think. And some of them are Grammy nominated. So that was really exciting to be a part of that process. Yeah, it just keeps on going. I find new opportunities, every month for sure, of new people to play with, new artists to work with, and hopefully more tours coming my way.
Yeah, dude, that's sick. So, like, do you think that there's any one of these like avenues that you gravitate towards, whether it's like performing on stage or like being a recording artist, or do they all kind of like work hand in hand with each other?
I mean, they're totally different, and as a magician as well, I definitely gravitate towards performing. I just love being in front of a crowd and feeling that energy, and but it's also really special to be working with an artist and then get to see the process of what you made in the studio happen live too. So like getting that reward, I guess, of doing that music live when you worked on it in the studio as well.
Yeah.
So that's exciting, but they're really totally different processes, of course. I love them both so much. It's more, one of them's more creative, obviously, and the other one is just you're out there connecting with people, as opposed to connecting with the actual song.
Yeah. That connection and that like live experience, like there's something about that like brings out like a different musician in you,
Yeah.
And like the preparation too is crucial, because I don't know about you guys, I've performed live on stage, like Ariel as well. Aaron's a professional ice skater. He's performed in front of like a ton of people all over the world. So yeah, there's something about like that energy that sort of like holds you accountable. Like no matter how much I prep, there's nothing really that can like prepare you for like performing in front of eyes,
Right.
Yeah, it definitely has a unique feel when you get out there in front of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just kind of want to know like about like the touring, man, because like you're one of the few artists or like friends that I have that go on tours with these like different groups. Like how is that like life experience for you? Is it difficult on the road, or like tell me about it?
Yeah, so I don't have a ton of experience being on like tour buses and living like that tour life that everyone talks about, I guess.
Okay.
A lot of my touring has to do with fly dates, and we're in one city, come back to LA for a couple of days and go to another city, just kind of that back and forth, which I've done a bunch of that. And that's just so much fun. I have done a little bit of tour bus stuff, and it's really exciting to wake up in a new city every single day and go try the new foods. And that's just really an exciting way just to see the world and, just to like live your passion, right? And to bring music across the world and see it. And it's really exciting.
Can you think of like your most rewarding experience, playing on stage? Like where was like the, your best energy, the best crowd? Like
I think it would have to be, and there's hopefully more to come for sure, but so far it's been playing at the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado.
Yeah.
And that was amazing, and I was blessed to do it twice actually. So that was really cool. We were opening for Grizz, who's an electronic artist.
Okay, nice.
And then Big Gigantic, another electronic artist. So that was wonderful. And we had this amazing moment where we split the crowd in half, and it was like 5,000 on one side, 5,000 on the other side.
Yeah.
And we did a call and response where half the crowd sang a different melody that harmonized with the other one.
Yeah.
And so we had the crowd basically harmonizing with one another. And then we built a song sort of around what they were singing. So we were all just making music together, and it was just goosebumps, and it's really incredible.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I know for myself, even, performing for a live crowd can be so rewarding and can give you so much energy. But being on tour and kind of trying to do that, night in, night out, I know for me, you can get a little burnt out sometimes,
right?
Just from trying to, match that level of energy. Do you feel like on the road when you're touring with music, you have a hard time, keeping up with your magic, for example, or do you ever feel like you get burnt out?
Well, whenever I get burnt out with music, I go to magic, and then vice versa. They kind of help each other recharge, I feel like. But I'm always doing magic, I guess, just in general all the time, kind of wherever I go. That's another fun thing too, to be on the road and to, do magic for people in the crowd and stuff. They don't realize that I'm about to go do a show for them too. It's just kind of fun just to do that as well. And backstage too. So I'm constantly doing magic, and that definitely keeps the music fresh, I think too, just to like take a little break, right before playing a show. Let's, go do some magic for the people that were playing in the band or the opening acts or headliners, and just kind of another way to connect. And
so it kind of gives you balance.
Yeah, definitely balances for sure. Yeah,
That's awesome, dude. And I think you brought a deck with you, right? That you were gonna.
I do. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, could we see a little bit?
For sure.
A little sneak peek.
This is it's a Star Wars deck of cards.
Okay.
I love Star Wars.
Good choice.
But also this was just a deck that I had lying around. And so we got some cards here, and maybe we can play with time travel.
All right.
That might be kind of interesting.
Hey, I'm up for it.
You've seen Back to the Future?
Yeah, sure.
Any time Tenet, maybe.
Okay. Yep. I like that movie.
I have to see Tenet, but so we have some cards. Why don't you grab one out?
Any card?
Any card.
All right.
Spread them out like this. You could sign it, but for now, I think it doesn't matter, right? Do you guys want to sign it, or I have a pen to sign it if you want, but
Yeah, you tell me. I'll sign it.
Yeah, have him sign it.
you want to sign it? Okay, I got a pen.
All right.
Let me grab that. You can take that and
Anywhere in particular?
write your name. Just nice and big across
Nice
the
and
face
big?
of it.
All right.
I just realized that when I talk like this, it's much more rich.
You're good.
Is that all right? Okay.
All right, there we go. I wrote my name.
Perfect. Okay. We got the pen. We'll set this aside.
It's the 3 of diamonds for everyone.
3 of diamonds. Okay. So let's see. 3 of diamonds. Pack of cards. I'm going to take the 3. I'm going to leave it in a very obvious place.
Sure.
So it is face down amongst a face up deck of cards.
Okay.
Okay. And you can see that at home as well, hopefully. Right. 3 of diamonds. This is a moment in time right now.
Okay.
Right? And all of this is a moment in time. So if we were to take this out of the deck, right? That moment when the card was face down in the face up deck is now, 5 seconds behind us. About, right? So let's see if we can move even further into the future, or rather maybe into the present moment, I guess.
Okay.
Getting further and further away from that moment. Okay, we'll see what happens. I'm going to put your card in the middle, and you can actually push it all the way in the middle.
All right. Push it in.
Okay.
Into the future.
Into the future, exactly. And is that fair? That it is lost? I'm not like keeping track of it anywhere with my fingers.
Yep, I can't see it at all.
Okay. We could shuffle the cards or whatever, but I am going to shuffle it in an unorthodox way.
Okay.
So I'm going to mix up the cards. So we got some cards face up, and then we have some cards face down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm going to jam them together. So I'm going to mix the face up cards into face down.
Okay.
So you can be fair about that. Is that fair that we have
Is that like the timelines colliding?
face up, right? The timelines have collided for sure. Face down, right?
Yep.
Okay. Put those all together. So now we're very far away from that moment in time that we made. Try to get this. The cards are okay. There we go. You can put them all together. Make sure we're still right, face down and face up, right?
Yep.
Fair. Okay. Push them all together.
All right.
So you are doing the damage, and now we have a really messed up deck. Thank you.
No problem. That I can do.
So now this is kind of unfortunate. We have cards face up, face down. I don't even know if your card's in the face up section or the face down section. I'll put the cards in your hand so I can't manipulate it. Hold on to that. You see my hands are empty.
They are empty.
We're going to go back in time.
Let's do it.
Okay. So about a minute ago, was it maybe?
I'd say.
A minute ago. The entire deck was right except for that one card, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can actually take that moment and bring that moment back to what just happened here. So all of what we just did hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
And if that happened, none of these cards would be messed up.
Son of a.
Right? Every single card is totally normal, except for that one card that we left in there from the very beginning.
Come on.
What? No way. Time travel. Nice.
There it is. And you can
That's
keep
epic.
it. You can have it.
Perfect. Thank you, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Nice.
And that's actually that is a trick that I created myself.
Dude, that's incredible.
Essentially, it is based on. There's lots of different ways of doing something similar to that, but that is
Yeah.
my handling. So to speak.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Nice.
Well, tell me about that creation process.
That's some
because,
skill right there.
Yeah, right?
Or you can do it upside down, which is kind of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very different. It's there's creating an idea. It would be really cool to make this board change color, for example, right? And then how do we do that? So you come up with a really interesting idea that is using your imagination, and then you switch into the analytical thinking and go into puzzle solving.
Okay.
And figure out how do we make this happen? How do we, how would we make this change color? Do we have to have this item be, have something tricked about it? Does there need to be some sort of gimmick, so to speak?
Right.
So that there's a lot of things that you think about when creating magic. I think about practicality.
Okay.
I like to be able to work with an examinable object and be able to have it be examined at the end and the beginning too. And I like to have it fit in my pocket and be able to, I guess, maybe not even use the table sometimes too. So that's just my personal style because I'm out and about and performing at nightclubs and that kind of stuff. And I like to be able to have the mobility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Marcus told me you do a lot of studio magic too, right?
I do studio magic. I do. When I do sessions, I definitely always bring some magic for that too. So
Nice.
I kind of do. But yeah, no, it's a wonderful passion of mine for sure, and it's really fun to create. And a lot of the stuff that I create is also impromptu, which means that you don't have to use any like trick decks.
Right.
And that's kind of what I was saying. Like it can be examined and that stuff.
What's like your favorite reaction or like top 3 or 5 that you can think of that because I've seen you perform and I've seen you get all sorts of reactions and just like people's like minds blown, but like is there any
we
that
were watching
out?
some of your tricks on Instagram.
Yeah,
I couldn't figure it out.
Nice. Well, I mean, when someone runs away from you, that's always a win.
Yeah.
For sure. I did magic for Cleave actually.
Oh, nice.
And there's a video of that somewhere online, but I did magic for him. I made you know what? I could even show you this trick at some point if you want me to do another trick. I could do the same
we'd love
trick
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
whenever the time is right. But yeah, I did a trick for him, and it was at a festival, and he lost it. He ran around the room twice.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's awesome.
So that was a good moment.
Well, yeah, Ariel, tell me what you're working on right now, what you're looking forward to, and what's happening.
Well, I just performed trumpet on the James Corden show with an artist named Quinn 92.
Awesome.
So that was very exciting, and there's some talk that maybe I'll go on the road with him at some point. We're still working that out if they're going to add trumpet to the music or not.
Okay.
So that could be something in the near future. And I'm also a artist for a trumpet company,
Okay.
and they're building me a trumpet right now. So that's another exciting thing. They're called Lotus trumpets,
Oh, sweet.
and they're really amazing trumpets.
Cool.
Are you customizing it in some way? Is there something
Yeah,
you-
absolutely.
yeah.
So I can tell them exactly what I want the trumpet to do. You know, if I want it to be brighter in certain ways or darker, or if we want the look of it to be different than the standard or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's exciting.
It seems like you travel quite a bit
Yeah, a fair amount.
between music and magic. You said you're from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
What brought you to LA in the first place? What kind of drew you here?
Honestly, it just seemed like the best place to do both of those things, to do music and magic. But aside from that, all of my friends from college moved out here.
Okay.
And so that was another reason to come here, because we could all work for each other as well, because we're all musicians.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just exciting to go to the West Coast after being on the East Coast for so long. And I was actually born in Eugene, Oregon, so it kind of felt like I was returning.
Okay.
I didn't stay here for very long. I was born in Eugene and then moved after I was 3, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just kind of the best move to make. And I was in Boston playing in a cover band and like a wedding band for a bit right after I graduated. And that was fun just to save up some money. But I just wanted to go out there and see what happens.
Sweet.
And
Nice.
it's been really wonderful so far.
Yeah, dude.
What is the magic community like in Los Angeles?
So the magic community is centered around the Magic Castle, actually.
Okay.
And the Magic Castle, if you don't know about that, is a private club for magicians where they have world-class performers every single week. different lineup every single week, come there and perform. And that's a really wonderful place to go and experience new magic. And so, yeah, there's definitely so much magic happening in Los Angeles.
There is. Yeah.
Not necessarily so many magicians living here, but people coming through for sure. It's one of the biggest magic hubs, I think, in the world.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, dude, we're very excited to hear any of the new songs that you're writing.
Oh yeah, I should
you know,
mention that maybe actually.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
So I'm also a songwriter, as you mentioned, but I do a lot of writing with Louis Futon, and he has a lot of music coming up very soon that I'm a big part of that, and I've been writing a lot with him. So I'm very excited for that music to finally surface.
Dude, yeah. I mean, we're excited to hear it.
You mentioned you kind of already had a network when you got here, friends and stuff from back home. How important has that network been for you as you've kind of chased these different things? Have you found like you've met new people, or is that core that you started with, is that kind of essential to?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I've definitely met new people for sure. But that core is still very close for sure. And also very inspiring to be around. I think being around inspiring people just makes you want to just do better and better yourself as well. So a lot of my friends are also touring musicians and studio musicians and kind of doing the same thing that I'm doing. And so it's really, really wonderful to be around that creative energy all the time.
Yeah. So Ariel, I can recall that you had showed me a clip of you performing on stage and sort of like intertwining your magic skills with your trumpet. Tell me a little bit about that project.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been a dream of mine to combine those together and to have a show where magic and music is happening at the same time. And the reason for the music is because of the magic and vice versa. And so I put together a show. I performed at Black Rabbit Rose.
Yeah.
And it was like a one-man show, playing keys and using a looping pedal and playing trumpet and doing magic on top of the music that was looped. And then interacting with the music through magic.
Yeah.
So that was a very, very fun moment in my life.
Dude.
How stressful is it trying to manage all those things at one time in a show?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely stressful for sure. That's why the show also isn't fully happening anymore, just because I need to work on it a lot more. But it was a great experience to finally do it and figure out what works and what doesn't work, and figure out, maybe the looping thing isn't really my thing.
Yeah. But that's cool to put yourself out there into like a show that hasn't existed before, because that's the first that I've heard of something like that.
Yeah, that's such a unique idea.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we'll see. I definitely want to make it happen again.
Cool. So Ariel, tell me a little bit about some of your influences, man.
Who inspires you?
Man. Well, first and foremost, I would say all of the music and just creativity in my life comes from my parents. They always had music on in the house, cooking dinners and stuff. And I feel like I was brought up listening to a broad scope of music. And also my grandfather, who brought so much classical and like Beethoven and opera and Mozart. And,
Awesome.
That definitely was a huge influence to me growing up. I'm super inspired also by John Williams.
Okay, yeah.
I love John Williams' film score music, and a lot of the piano music that I write is inspired by him and his chord changes, and
that's amazing.
A lot of the structures and melodic choices that he makes.
Also,
it's wonderful to. My girlfriend is a musician. Her name is Liv Gibson, and she's an artist herself and has music out.
Awesome.
You can find her music at Liv Gibson on anything. Search it up.
Sweet.
And so it's inspiring to live with another musician, and she's singing all the time. And, it's always nice to, hear fresh new melodies floating around. And it's just great to be surrounded by so much music in the household, growing up. And then also just amongst all my friends.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. I mean, is there anything else that you're working on that you're looking forward to, like this summer?
Well, my current day job, I guess, or night job, but what I call my day job. I work at a nightclub in Hollywood right now called Main Row, and it's a platform for me to play trumpet on stage, like classics. There's like a backing track of, What a Wonderful World playing behind me, and I'm playing the melody. So that's a fun thing that I'm still doing and looking forward to continuing.
Okay.
And then I also walk around and perform magic from booth to booth in the club. Yeah, so that's another thing I'm doing.
Awesome. So that's where people can.
That's where you can find me.
Yeah, that's where they can find you live, right? And where can everybody find your music online?
Yeah, your
which
music,
artists?
your magic. We want to see it all.
Yeah. I think if you just type my name into Google, Ariel Shrum, a lot of that stuff will come up. I don't have, since I'm just a trumpet player on other people's music, I don't have like a Spotify of just my stuff, which I should create. I should figure out a way to do that. But my Instagram is also a very good source for finding out things that I'm doing and finding my music and projects I've been a part of. And that is Ariel Shrumpet.
Yes.
Like trumpet,
like
but
it.
Shrum pet.
That's awesome. Well, dude, yeah. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being on the podcast and
Absolutely.
sharing your journey with us. We're really looking forward to all the projects you got coming up, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.